So we all know that customer feedbacks are really important, right? We all know that. We all know that we should be taking customer feedbacks because listening to our customers is the best thing for our business. We all know that going to the host, the one who's going to be paying for their meal, is the best person to ask, what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do to improve your experience? It's common sense. We all restaurateurs know we should be doing it, right? We should be asking them what they want and giving them what they want so they come back more often. So why do so many of us choose to ignore doing it? I'll tell you why I chose to ignore doing it. I used to say to myself that I don't have the time. It's too much work. I got all these stacks of feedbacks, or if it's an app, I mean, it's running through so many customer feedbacks, or sometimes I'd say to myself that I don't even get any feedbacks. I don't even get comments. So what's the point? Or sometimes I used to say, oh, I know everything. I know what they want. So what's the point? But the truth was that I was afraid. The truth was that I was just afraid of listening to negative feedbacks. I was working so hard to give them what they wanted. I didn't want to listen to negative feedback after negative feedback. I want to listen to positive feedback after positive feedback. That's the truth. But here's what I learned, is that the people who actually give negative feedbacks are the guys who care. When is the last time you went to some place and you gave a feedback and you didn't care about your experience, or you didn't care about going back there, but you just did it because you wanted to put the owner down? Nobody does that stuff. I mean, you may have one or two idiots who do that, but most of the time these guys really care about their experience, and they really care about your place, and they want to come back to your place because they actually love it, which is why they're giving you a negative feedback or even a semi-positive comment or a positive comment, is because they care. And once I understood that these are the guys I really need to listen to, the guys who are giving me comments, the guys who are telling me what they want or what I should do better, these are the guys that actually care about my business. These are the guys who want me to improve. I changed my mindset around that. I threw that fear out of the window. And when I did that, I realized that why shouldn't I take feedbacks? Why shouldn't I take more customer feedbacks? Because it's the most easiest way to go about understanding exactly what they want, getting them to come back more often, and just knowing exactly what to do without making any mistakes, without assumptions. Just keep giving them what they want. Also, when I opened new restaurants and I used to take feedbacks right from day one, I understood whether they like my food, they like my service, do they like the pricing that I've put on the menu, do they find it of value, are they going to come back, not come back? And there's a lot more that I learned. So there were so many benefits from doing it that I just wasn't doing it. And I took it a step ahead, which is that I created a very simple technique that I'm about to share with you that actually got me my customer feedback surveys on my desk every day. I got my employees to actually do it. Now, we know that our employees, especially as servers, don't like to take customer feedbacks because they're afraid that it's going to harm their tips. So I'm going to teach you a technique right now that overcomes all of that. But before that, I needed you to understand that those are the fears that I was working from, that I didn't want it. Once you see that it's okay to get positive and negative, it's all right, it's not personal, I can teach you this technique. So once you're okay with that, all right, let me teach you this one technique, which is very, very simple. All I asked my servers, including myself when I used to meet customers, is how would you rate us from 1 to 10? That's it, as simple as that. Many times they'd say 8 or 7 or 6 or 4 or 2 or 10. And then I'd say, all right, what can we do? If they said 8 on 10 as an example, what can we do to make your experience 10 on 10? What can we do to make your experience 10 on 10? When I asked them this question, they began to think, all right, you could make my experience 10 on 10 by doing this or by doing that. So guess what? I got comments, I got suggestions on what they wanted to improve their experience, and they are paying me to give me this information. How good is that? Now, I incentivized my servers by a few cents for every feedback they gave me. It wasn't $1 or more or a lot of money, because it wasn't about money. It was about that I respect your work to my server, I respect your time, I'm willing to pay you for this additional effort, and here's a little incentive, and don't be afraid. All we're gonna do is, how do you rate us from 1 to 10, and what can we do to make it a 10 on 10 experience for you? And my servers loved it. They overcame their own fear. They saw that it wasn't affecting their tips. They brought me hundreds of feedbacks. I used to get nearly 600 customer feedbacks per restaurant. And so what did I do? I averaged it out. I averaged the score from 1 to 10. I just average it out. So if this month's average for that particular restaurant was, so in your restaurant, let's say that you have 100 customer feedbacks and the average of 100 customer feedback scores from 1 to 10 is, let's say, 8. All you got to do is say, okay, what do I really need to do next month to make this a 8.5? So it gave me also a number to work from to keep improving. And that made life so simple. I can't tell you that when you get customer feedbacks, it's so powerful that it helps you focus as to exactly what you need to do. It helps you align your actions to what actually makes a difference to your revenues. You stop shooting arrows in the dark. You stop shooting arrows hoping one arrow sticks and increases your revenue. You stop putting ads here and spending here when they are telling you exactly what you need to do. Most of the time you don't need to spend more money. And what it did was, the biggest benefit of all was that it made my revenues predictable. Because the more I learned from them, the better I did, and I could forecast my revenues better. That helped me better manage my cash flows and other stuff. So sometimes you got to understand that our biggest challenges in our business have the simplest solutions. In this case, it was taking customer feedbacks, but it was overcoming that fear, and 2, having a simple technique. This technique of asking, would you rate us from 1 to 10? And if they say 8 on 10, ask them, what can we do to make your experience a 10 on 10 the next time? Try this out. I guarantee you, you will learn so much about your business from your customers. Even you learn about your competition because they'll talk about it. There's so much gold information that is going to come out that's going to help you increase your revenues. It drastically changed the way my business ran. I bet it's going to do the same for you. Try it out. Till next week, see you. Bye.